You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show.
Welcome to WWE
What are we doing?
AfterBuzz live. I am your host, the Internet Soapbox Mark, and this week we're without Kathy Kelly, but we have a wonderful guest in her stead, the lovely and beautiful Mike Falzone.
Hello, sorry I'm not Kathy.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Got just as
Better
beautiful
to
hair.
apologize now than reap the negative comments that will come later.
Oh no, they'll be fine. You'll be wonderful. And of course, as always, the Wrestling Ring's True Hobo.
That's right, I am the Wrestling Ring. Some call me the Worm.
I don't. Anyway, we had a super packed show tonight.
I just got it.
There you go.
I just got it.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Ringworm. Ringworm.
Yes, okay.
Gotcha. There you go.
I was hoping. I got it right. A fully stocked show, 5 matches, bell to bell to bell to bell. No interstitials, but it was fine. Good show.
Yeah.
Adequate wrestling show.
Yeah.
Not so much maybe lacking on the entertainment.
No.
Well,
No.
I was entertained, but the entertainment part of sports entertainment, but a good wrestling show, I think.
I would agree with that.
I feel like
Yeah.
I was there.
I mean, there were a couple of little surprises tonight that were nice. The women's match, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
That was
Let's-
maybe the low point of tonight.
And we'll talk about that more in
Yeah.
depth. But we'll start with the first match, which was the Ascension versus Johnny Vandal and Aaron Solau. Couldn't hear him over the sound of destruction from the Ascension. Very quick match. Johnny Vandal in the ring first, trying to get an arm lock. Got reversed and carried right over by Victor. Wasn't having any of his guff. No guff in that ring.
No.
Threw him into the partner, into Aaron. But
Didn't even give him a chance to make a tag. It was, you're tagging now.
Yeah.
the contact instigated a tag.
Just so there's no confusion whatsoever.
No.
You, and the ref was like, sorry, bro.
And then they went on to corner the guy. He's like, oh man, I'm really in trouble now.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's what you
are.
do when you get someone real scared. There's no way that they could possibly get out of that situation by that point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You're super screwed now, buddy.
We saw a wonderful new move from Connor, the Wiggle. Don't know what he was going for. He was living La Raza. Channeling his inner Eddie Guerrero, as Irish as he is.
It's kind of weird for a giant Irish undead, arguably guy to suddenly feel Latino fever going on.
Yes, member of the Illuminati because of the triangle.
Right. Pyramid.
He was... Yes, thank you.
Pyramids are triangular. You're not wrong.
Thank you, Hobo. Learning me some knowledge.
Yep.
I didn't know this show was so educational when I walked in the door.
Yeah.
It's like Sesame Street.
It's not a TV. It's chalkboards.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it very much.
We need some Glenn Beckian type drawings and stuff.
Or Madden-esque, like, can we get, like, replays where we
yes.
like...
X's and O's.
But only to outline shapes and stuff like that. Like the differences
This is
between
an X. This is a circle.
Perfect. He's really getting into the yas. That's what the Wiggle was for, seemingly. Taking it a little bit too seriously, a little bit too much. Got a fall of man for the win. Any expectations other than that for this match?
I was sort of expecting, kill. But the Vandal and Solo, I actually liked them. I like that Vandal got some offense really quick in the beginning and then sort of was murdered as per your usual Ascension match. But that Solo didn't want to play. Like,
Yeah.
he saw this coming. It was actually, for that, it was pretty great.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to play by the rules, which I like that a lot.
No, and wanted to get his shots in early, as if to say, like, if there's any chance of us doing this, it has to at least start pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know.
Taking matters into his own hands.
Yeah.
Trying to.
For a couple seconds.
Yeah, get some sort of hope starting, but there was none. Speaking of hope, all of my hopes and dreams came true with Tyler Breeze in action versus Mojo Rawley, who I always go Riley because of Mojo Rising. I don't know why. But Mojo not billed in the promo before. It was like just Tyler Breeze is in action.
It was Tyler Breeze and Adrian Neville are in action tonight. Oh, goody.
Not against each other.
Not against each other.
But this wanted to mention real quick. Speaking of Neville, Tyler Breeze and Neville were both in a dark match for SmackDown because they were in Florida, and a lot of the crowd really seemed to like them. Probably really confused Tyler Breeze, but I wish that we get to see them on regular TV soon.
Right. I mean, Breeze for his entrance is you just get him right off the bat. Just with that great entrance, seeing his whole huge face on that Tron would be.
And what an
great.
expressive face it is.
Yes.
He looks like when he does that face, he looks like a Guess Who's character. Like he would be
the one with the eyebrow.
Yeah, no, you got me again.
Pretty self-explanatory match. Came out with that cast, taped up finger. Was it a cast or was it tape?
It had to be tape.
It was a hybrid.
He had the splint on
Hardened
and then
tape.
just taped the hell out of it.
There you
Yeah.
go. It was just.
It looked really newfangled. It looked like there was half tape and then there was like a breathable sleeve material.
Yeah, there was a sleeve that he usually has, and I think he couldn't bend it, so I think it was on like a complete splint. He just had it out there the entire time.
It was a very scientific splinting.
Very accusatory match by Tyler Breeze.
Yes. Mojo pushes Tyler to the corner. Tyler's complaining that his finger's all messed up.
Yeah.
Beauty shot, 1, 2, 3.
Out of nowhere!
From out of nowhere. Damn it, Miz. And just, that was it. That was the match.
I was pretty surprised by that. I kind of feel bad for Mojo, which is how I actually should feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should feel bad for Mojo Rawley,
did
which
that
makes you
perfect,
kind of
yeah.
want to go, well, I kind of want him to win now because he just lost so horribly.
And then he'll do hyperdrive, and then you'll be like, oh.
Oh, well, there's that.
Does he have? I haven't been as attentive in the past couple weeks. Does he have a few like legit clean wins under his belt? Does he have any?
Like a ton.
Yeah, he's got a
Does
lot.
he?
Like
Okay.
he would come out every other week and do hyperdrive, but then these past couple of weeks, he's just kind of been there.
Right.
Because the crowd just doesn't seem into it.
It was really weird. For the last event they did, Takeover, it was Mojo came out to confront Rusev, and then Rusev beat the crap out of him.
Okay,
and
yeah.
he came out like waving the American flag and everything. So it's like, all right, he's gonna be. Nope. It was so weird. It was very, very bizarre. Speaking of bizarre, our seemingly main event, because it was the hot. It's seemingly.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't the final match, but Summer Rae versus Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship, and very oddly booked this match.
Well, I mean, this was the match with the most build. We started the show with the ladies' package, recapping all of this. But in spite of the build, it just did not get over with the fans. The fans did not know what to do, and I understand why. It has nothing to do with the abilities of either Charlotte or Summer. It's just not their fault at all. It's their styles. There are a couple of people who don't follow the rules. There are a couple of bad guys. And you can't have two bad guys fight each other and expect the crowd to pick a side.
Right, especially when they haven't been. I'm sorry to interrupt. I
No,
apologize.
feel free to cut in.
I was gonna say, especially when they haven't established themselves like for years, you know, and they have all this history behind them, so fans can identify with either stuff that you've done for such and such a time or whatever. They're still both relatively new and building themselves, so it's tough, to have that connection, even if it is, bad guy versus bad guy. It's tough to look at that match and say, oh, well, all the history behind this one, I feel like that's when those really work.
That's a good point. There's not enough history, and the history that is there isn't necessarily complimentary to either one of them.
Right.
We're glad to see Summer back, but at the same time, she came back and was like, I'm the best. And you're kind of like, well, yeah, but I don't really want to hear you say that.
And the biggest thing between the two of these ladies was that all of their development happened while the other one wasn't there.
Yeah.
So like Summer got really, really popular and was the head of the BFFs, and then Charlotte came in, and then Charlotte left when the BFFs kind of got even stronger, and then Summer went off to the main roster, and then Charlotte came back and established herself. So it was never really, it wasn't an active rivalry.
Yeah,
It
I
was
actually
very
heard when the
passive.
BFFs were when they were at their pinnacle of power, they were actually Creative was going to change the name to BFF Star L. Did you guys hear any of
No.
that? And then they broke up, and then they were just going to take off one of the Fs, and they decided to disband the whole group. That's just a little inside. That's from around the writers' table. Just some. I got people texting me about it all the time. That's the only bit of insider info I have.
What
for
was the L?
I don't know. I'm just making all of it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I figured I was right out of your ass.
He's going for a joke, and I'm like, I'm trying to be here with you. It's like, yes, Star L. I'm here.
Star L, of course, for everybody at home, for life.
Yeah.
All right, for life.
That yearbook joke, though.
Right, the stars are forever. Everybody knows that. No?
We lost.
No,
we
that's
lost.
You
fine.
see, 4L is only reserved for the closest possible groups of friends.
Yes.
I see.
To be two friends forever. Yes, of course. It started out as most intense Divas matches do. Big pushing contests, some slaps, and a really long figure 4 neck lock from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Right, which is supposed to make you feel bad for Summer, but I don't know if it did
But-
that.
Arguably the best return from commercial ever.
Yeah.
My beautiful face!
Perfectly. Fades
Perfect.
in as soon as we have full picture.
My beautiful face.
My beautiful
She
face.
is just, she's massively talented, just incredibly talented. She knows how to use her voice in the ring. She knows how to use her body. She knows how to use everything. But if she just was not the same person for this match, it would have gone over better with the fans who just did not know what to do.
We got a wave in this match.
Yeah, we got a wave.
And that is the lowest of the low when it comes to interest.
Well,
Yeah.
And it was a good match. There
at least
Summer,
it's not loud. I got a wave in my last match. At least it's not loud, you know?
yeah, like, whoa!
A lot of chairs rustling, but aside from that,
Yeah,
everybody kind of just waiting their turn to do whatever. I'll say this. I told you guys while we were in there in the screening room that I've been watching a lot of the matches from the 80s and a lot of the main event stuff.
Yeah.
And this match kind of had more of an old school feel for me because it was kind of like hold for hold, and they took their time. I think a lot of people, with the exception of the two 30-second matches that we saw, like a lot of people took their time, and I think it happens a lot on NXT, and it makes it really interesting to watch as like a fan of wrestling. You get to see people kind of like working stuff out, you know?
right.
And
I've said the same thing about a lot of the matches at NXT, though. They'll actually work a hold. They'll get a hold, and they'll manage to get out of it, and then they'll go into the same hold, only it's modified slightly.
Yeah.
And they'll maybe do that 2 or 3 times, which is great to see because that's it.
Right.
That's wrestling.
There was a
Right.
really
In
good
reality.
headlock match a couple of weeks ago that everybody was just like, oh my god, the headlock again. But
Yeah.
it worked.
Absolutely.
It absolutely worked. And just like this, you don't see a body scissors too often.
No.
And Summer just locked that in. That's when the boring chant started. Really nice half crab too.
Yeah.
Like
That's
a
really bending Charlotte almost made her toe touch the top of her head.
yeah.
That's good.
stretch.
I've seen some girls do that just on their own, which is equally impressive. But when you have a friend helping you out,
Less frightening.
it's
Right.
always, well, not only is it less frightening, but the ease, the level of ease skyrockets.
Have you ever seen somebody put their legs behind their head and then like run a circle around their torso?
No.
That
Very
whole thing,
frightening.
Yeah, I've seen
Very
that.
frightening.
No, I haven't. Dude, just
wild.
for an example, not to bring myself into every situation that we're
Please
talking
do.
about.
You're the
but
guest.
I dropped my keys before I left my house today.
Where
and
is
I
this
like
going?
I'm excited.
I was like, I mean, I'm probably going to go down to a knee to pick them up. I started bending at the waist, and I was like, I can't. There's a flexibility problem for sure. And so I went down to a knee, and then we come here. We're at the screening room, and there are people touching their heels to the back of their head. And I'm like, if your keys drop, that would be no problem for you. That's a half a second fix.
Like prehensile, like
Yeah.
tail, pick it up.
Yeah, maybe
they
do a
use,
cartwheel.
They use their toes and then pop their foot up and just grab their keys from their toes.
Yeah,
So,
very talented.
very talented legs.
Yeah.
And there was a really confusing whole, like they were trying to figure something out, which was nice because it was like the struggle was real.
It makes it look like a fight instead of a dance. I always like that.
A quick
Yeah.
trip, a bow down to the queen, And Charlotte wins. No Sasha at all.
Cleanest win you could imagine.
It is funny that you say the thing about the, look more like a fight than a dance, because I do feel like on, the WWE shows and a lot of like the Raw SmackDown shows, it does seem like everything is very clean and everything is very gymnasty, and on NXT it does seem like it's more gritty, and half of it's probably because they're working stuff out, but it seems like they want to get at each other more than they do on television for whatever reason. It feels more raw, despite the actual title of the show itself being Raw.
Yes.
Very good. Wonderful carryover.
There's good reason for that. You could argue that the guys down here are younger, they're hungrier, so they're more willing to sacrifice themselves and somebody else.
I was just talking about the girls
to get
specifically.
Oh, the girls, yeah, definitely the girls.
Well, there's also the recording schedule, the fact that they do 4 shows in a night, and so that animosity and that energy just stays super high. So
yeah,
it's very easy for that to come across, and especially there's 5 active female wrestlers down there. With if you don't call in Emma and Paige
on television.
Yeah, Becky, Sasha, Charlotte. Because I write
Charlotte.
I write Char.
Me too.
Charlotte, she's the one who's in charge most of the time.
It's Charlotte in charge
Charlotte in church.
of our tapes, and speaking of divas, we see an Alexa Bliss package.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful sentiment. Like, hey, Alexa Bliss, she'll probably be fighting next week, because they usually do that.
She's pretty much the most unique lady right now.
That tutu.
What is
tutu.
Educate me on her. I'm not a
Alexa
I'm not
Bliss is a little bit more recent. She's had a couple of matches. She's debuted within the past 2 months. So I wouldn't say like a cheerleader type.
No, she's like a
pixie.
She's a fairy.
She's a pixie.
Yeah, you can be peppy and not be a cheerleader for sure.
Yeah.
You just like coffee.
Very blue. A lot of glitter. She literally just like blows a whole bunch of glitter out onto the crowd.
Sure.
And a very fun offense too.
Sort of fast-paced, almost lucha-styled offense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is different. You don't see that. The girls generally don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different to see. It definitely sets her apart from everybody else.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lady luchador sooner than later. Full mask and everything.
I'd say it's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
That's true.
Whether they'll
Anything
do
is
it or not.
possible.
Yeah.
I've seen most things that I've thought were impossible on the internet just within the past 3-4 years or so. So I know for a fact that the Lady Lucha thing could happen.
You live and you learn.
Probably a little bit high on the list of probability.
Yep.
We have our 4th match of the evening, the Vaudevillains versus Kalisto and his mystery opponent revealed to be partner to be Sin Cara. The mystery was, why does it turn black and white every time the Vaudevillains come out? Mystery solved. Very, very fun match as usual with the Vaudevillains. A lot of good tag team back and forth. Fun spot with the headlock takeover by Kalisto, where he just couldn't get the leverage until he did a springboard off of the middle rope. And
that managed to get enough leverage to bring over in English. That was good. There was a lot of little spots like that that were really good. Going for the wheelbarrow into the thing.
Powerbomb.
The gimmick, not the powerbomb.
No. The senton. The seated senton.
That's it.
Into the gimmick.
The gimmick.
Yeah.
Oh, they took my gimmick.
Legends House. Every Tuesday. Oh, wait, we did that show already.
That was it. That was in this very room.
Yeah. Memories. That's the thing. The madness is getting to us. We can't shake hands.
No, we can't.
Wonderful story about how Simon Gotch is not allowed in England anymore because he tried to capture the Loch Ness Monster, but instead got Haystacks Calhoun.
You know, anybody would make that mistake. Have you ever seen Haystacks Calhoun?
And apparently Simon Gotch doesn't know that Loch Ness is in Scotland.
Yeah.
But Scotland Yard didn't care, and they were like, nah, London.
Yeah, well, the thing is, somebody captured the Loch Ness Monster a few years ago. It was one of the things I saw on the internet. And he actually tried to transport the monster back to England, like the city proper. Manchester, I believe it was.
Oh,
England City, England.
Yeah, the city of England proper. And that's why it's not allowed in there anymore. That was my favorite part of the show from a commentary standpoint, without question.
Renee Young always brings just amazing stories and silliness while being totally invested in the match.
That's why those characters are so great. You could say anything about them, anything that's entertaining, and it could be true.
Yeah,
You have
it's
no
not-
idea.
No one's gonna say no. I don't think so.
It's
Not for
vaudeville.
those guys.
Everybody believes it.
I
It's
mean,
vaudeville.
when I wrestle, people say the most slanderous, horrible things. Stu Stone said I gave pigeons lice.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it's not true.
Right, it's probably true.
Yeah,
Just being honest.
I should have told you to bring a hairnet. Sorry about that, Falzone.
That's a fine. I didn't bring my pet pigeon just on a hunch.
I would eat it. Some squab right now, I could do that.
Yes. I don't want to get you all excited. I apologize for even talking to me.
Not bring my pet pigeon. We saw a wonderful rollover powerbomb from Sin Cara. Something
That was
learned,
awesome.
Yeah, something learned from Hunico
You know
before
what?
Hunico disappeared.
They probably were training together, and he just showed him that quick little advantageous power move, and he decided to use it tonight. That's very good.
Yeah, and he did it with ease, as if he'd been doing it for years.
It helps to have a partner sometimes to spar with. you
Very
know?
much so.
Yeah.
I wonder when we'll see Hunico back on NXT.
I don't
And
think we will.
we got another quick tag, and we saw the beautiful no handspring back elbow. That's just magical. That's one of those things where you go, how do you do that? How do you not just fall on your head?
No. I know how he did it. Here's what makes me go, how do you learn to do that? How do you not go, well, I'm going to fall on my head and break my neck? How do you just put that out of your mind and go, I'm not going to put my hands down this time. I don't care what happens. I'm not putting my hands down.
It's just like you're looking at the ropes and you go, and then you try, and then that's it.
I can make this work.
As a professional wrestler yourself, how far out of your repertoire of moves would that exact move be? What would it take for the hobo to get to that point?
A no hands handspring?
Yeah, specifically.
I'd have no clue. I would need to have some jumping beans or something like that. Some sort of magic would have to take hold in me in order for make me do that.
I'd love to see it.
Check one of
Yeah.
your cans of beans. You might have some jumping beans
Just
in
one
there.
glowing green bean. I wonder what this does.
It's probably
No hands
irradiated.
handspring!
You have so many beans after a while. There has to be one magic one just floating around in there somewhere.
You'd think that. It's like winning the lottery with beans. One of them has to be magical. I guess I'll just have to keep eating to find out.
Yeah, it's either no hands handspring or beanstalk to heaven.
Either-
It's one
Out
of
of
the
my
two.
butt if I eat it.
Take your chance. Sin Cara dives out to the outside, and we get a brand new backflip reverse DDT from Kalisto for the win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was lovely.
Very fun
I
match.
think he was supposed to land flat on his ass, but he got his feet under him. It did not diminish the power of the move at all. Simon Gotch took the 100% the brunt of that right on the back of the skull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor Simon.
Is there any way you think that move could be improved?
Just
Setting it up
I was
for the thing you said.
I was thinking a little bit when when Simon pops back up after he hits the mat, it seems like it lends itself perfectly to that. I wish I knew the exact. You got to help me out on the.
I'll do my best to read your mind without words.
I know. So me not knowing wrestling moves proper names and being a little dyslexic is not going to help this conversation very much.
Right.
But when he sets him down on his shoulders and his legs pop up and went off to the side a little bit, I could see, doing that move over and over again. You just get to the point where it's like, second nature. He comes off the mat and like you grab both of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like a Dragon Rana would be. It's when doing the Hurricane Rana, but you go all the way and the guy ends up on the bottom. Rey Mysterio used to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I could see that working.
Yeah, but it obviously didn't come off 100% and it still looked awesome. So I
Yeah.
can only imagine, because he's very new still, right?
Kalisto's a couple of months.
The cool thing about not watching all the time is that everyone's new all the time. But no, I saw him last week, at least for a backstage segment or something like that.
Yes.
So I was excited to see him for sure.
He did a couple of singles matches, but then he showed up with El Local, who's a wonderful talent, helps train down there.
Nice.
But he got replaced shortly just by Sin Cara, and they had a really good chemistry, but it looks like they're going for the super high flyer lucha tag team.
Yeah. I'll say this, just from a style perspective, I don't have much for sure. I just like to get that out there. No,
Okay. Because I've got all the styles.
right,
so-
exactly.
It's the coat.
But the
It's
thing,
coats.
the shiny rat tail on the back of the
Yeah.
lucha mask, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think it's a bit much.
Dragon tail.
I don't think I don't think he needs it. But
I think it's a bit of a nod to Ultimate
Dragon?
Dragon.
did he have it?
Yeah,
In
he,
match?
he did. He had the whole thing. Oh, a bit longer than Callisto's, I think.
Nice.
But Callisto used to wrestle as Samurai del Sol, and that's sort of where I think he gets his mask style from. If you want to go and look that up, you can. But yeah, it's sort of that Japanese hybrid Mexican.
So do they have? Is that like more of a traditional thing? Did they kind of grow out that way? Because I know sometimes they grow up with the horns and stuff like that, and usually for like entrance attire, you'll have just a lot more stuff.
I mean, it
in-ring
depends. Let's think. Ultimate Dragon had a whole set of shoulder pads.
Whole
and everything.
apparatus.
Yeah, he did, and I think he wrestled with the shoulder pads as well. But I think this is just a scaled down version of that. And obviously,
Scaled
he had a sometimes I'm so good I don't even get it
That's me half the time.
yeah.
All the time.
all the time. Callisto had a cool coat though. I dig a lot of their costumes.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
I make all my own wrestling outfits myself.
So you can appreciate it.
I really do. Yeah. Whoever they got, seamstress wise, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just awesome.
At the end, following this match, we got our real main event: Adrian Neville versus Rusev, and very quick, but it seemed like maybe the promo by Lana and Rusev ran a little bit longer than the match, seemingly just because they
Hating America just a little too long.
It's like,
this one.
God, just wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're tired of it. Neville never seemed like he was weak in this match. He was on the receiving end of a lot of like big moves, but he always got right back up to try to bring him back off of his feet.
It's the story of Adrian Neville. Every time you see him fight somebody, he takes a lot of punishment and is able to bounce back. That's just him.
Yeah, like his series with Brodus Clay was relatively similar, but
Yeah.
a little more clean.
Right. I think Rusev has got a little bit more in-ring ability than Brutus.
Formerly
Never
Brodus.
felt bad for Adrian Neville in this match.
No,
for sure.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Like that's been his whole gimmick the whole time is he's always in control and he totally deserves to be at the spot where he's at.
You don't really feel sympathy, but you want to see him fly. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the candle under a hat type of deal. So the bad guy always puts the candle under a bushel, and then the fire starts growing and growing, and then he pushes it back down, and eventually it just lets loose in such huge flame, and the
Right.
crowd goes wild.
And the flame just happens to flip onto you from a very high
Right.
And
altitude.
land on its feet.
It burns, baby. Don't play with fire.
Is it a hat or a bushel? I got lost.
Well, yes,
It's a shrubbery.
it's a shrubbery.
I'll say this for Lana, I kind of expect when she comes down to NXT, it's like this is her time to like try things out and like to see how far she could push the envelope as far as the whole like what could I say about Russia that will piss off the most people and maybe work up there, you know, on the bigger shows. And I was a little disappointed that it was kind of the most generic of the you know, your president does this and my president does this type thing.
Well, sometimes because there's so much that's on camera these days, they wait until it's either a commercial or if it's a live show.
Yeah.
Because you were at the Raw, right? The Raw
Yeah.
when they were in here. Do you remember when Seth Rollins was like, CM
Yes.
Punk is in here? Like, it's stuff like that where it's like, okay, because they cut his mic right when the commercial was coming back
Right.
on. So
Which was awesome.
no, yeah, exactly.
By the way.
So they'll you know say stuff, but you probably won't hear about it unless you were there.
Right, but I mean, how many times I'm almost never in Orlando, Florida. So as somebody who,
Most of the
you know,
time.
watches this show once in a while and sees every time Lana, definitely Lana, but also sometimes Rusev is on TV,
You pay more attention when it's live.
well, I want to hear more stuff. You know, like I know you have to be generic and you have to keep up with what you're doing or whatever. But I'd like to see, you know, mainly because it's on the network. I'd like to see more chances taken.
I mean, yeah, but when it comes to promos and stuff like that, she's somebody on the main roster now. She's somebody who's being looked at by everybody. So if she says something that is more, risque than what she said, he's still going to come back and bite her.
Right.
Like, she was on Raw. She barely mentioned anything about, the whole flight thing that happened.
About politics.
Right. And people lost their minds.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
if she pushed the envelope now a little bit down there, same thing would happen. People would go nuts. You can't have it.
Only a thing that would happen today. It's like, again, going back to the stuff from the 80s. If you like look at the stuff with the Iron Sheik and look at all the Russian stuff back then, it's like they said everything.
Or when Sergeant Slaughter joined.
Yeah.
That was
maddening.
Yeah, no, if that would not have happened
never
today.
fly. I mean, most of the stuff in wrestling would never fly today. But it's funny to see them try to do such an old school type situation, type conflict, but really have to like hold back. I almost feel bad. You know what I'm saying?
They can't go full tilt with it.
Right. And because like part of being offended helps the product so much because you want to see, them get their comeuppance after that.
Well,
it's about emotion.
That's the point.
And the whole the previous Real Americans thing, like now he's kind of a good guy because he's going up against Rusev. And
I have my opinions on that.
Yeah, we'll get you on a Raw and we'll talk all about it. But it's a similar sort of thing where, like Glenn Beck was talking about that character, and then they put out a video where they totally broke kayfabe and were like, "We're performers.
Right.
What we do is perform."
Right.
You don't get it?
Don't get it?
You don't get it?
You haven't been watching for the past 50 years?
It's weird. People
lazy.
People can be really strange and stupid in that people who don't watch wrestling think that wrestling's 100% fake. Everything's fake, fakety fake. But if somebody says something during wrestling that offends them, they lose their minds.
Right. And you know what? It's not even that people are really offended, because that's definitely not it. I just think in the times we live in today, you just want to be the first one to say that you were offended and then get a bunch of people on your side, because it's so easy to tell everyone everything at the drop of a hat.
I agree with that. In a very surprising turn of events, we saw Tyler Breeze come out and interfere a little bit while Lana was up on
Lana
the
got
apron.
heated, which prompted me to just get surprised. I've never seen Lana lose her composure like that. But it was part of the
apron.
plan.
Yeah.
Man.
She was up on the apron there,
Yep.
screaming Mimi up on the apron.
She does not do that.
No.
It's unusual.
It did not seem to affect Neville very much, as he popped Rusev with a couple of good kicks, started setting up for the Red Arrow. Breeze wasn't having it, tripped him. Neville wins by disqualification. We get that gross super kick that Rusev does. And
is it gross because it's all foot, or is it gross because it's so damn thick?
Both, because it's so low that it doesn't look pretty. It just looks like it's just a straight side kick to the face.
It's like a real kick.
Yeah, just like totally knock him out, and then slapped him in an accolade, and then we end with Rusev and Lana raising their hands.
Yeah.
I sort of thought somebody was gonna come out and save him.
Yeah, like Sammy. Like they're such tight bros. Like, why didn't Sammy come out and save him?
Well, hey man.
That was last week.
Yep, that was last week.
Yeah, a very fun and interesting end to the last cycle of television tapings. They did just tape another set, and we're very excited to see where the show goes. But that will do it for that'll. I mean, that's it. I mean, really.
We'll do it.
I was like, no, we already talked about that. The show was pretty good.
Did we tie it up by saying it was pretty good at the end?
Because it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Pretty good.
But
callback.
Until next time, where can everybody find you, Mike? Where can the people find you, talk to you, buy your merchandise?
The internet. I'm like the easiest person to find.
So go to the internet and you'll be able to
go
find
to
them.
www.theinternet. I think it's org. No, just anywhere. Mike Falzone. I do a lot of YouTube stuff. Put out 2 videos a week. We have a podcast, merchandise, and albums, books
Are you
on
on the
DFTV.
Twitter?
I am on the Twitter. It's we are Twitter friends.
Yes, we
now,
are.
Thank goodness, and I'm coming to see you on Sunday.
Oh, sweet.
I will be the loudest, most obnoxious person there. That's how.
That's
going to
be really difficult.
Where can
actually.
people follow you on the Twitter?
They can
I
follow
was trying
me-
to set you up subtly. This went right over your head.
I was too busy complimenting our budding friendship.
Yeah.
Just Mike Falzone everywhere. MySpace, Twitter, Reverb Nation.
Live Journal. Have you gotten the Live Journal?
Friendster, Zanga.
I miss Friendster so much. so much. I have a AIM away message up about it right now.
How about you, Hobo?
I'll be in Port Hueneme on Sunday, wrestling for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I think. I'll be there at
I
least.
hope so, because I'm still showing.
Give me some change, I'll be there. ProWrestlingTees.com, buy a shirt for the love of God. Twitter at TrueHobo. YouTube.com/SoapboxGuardTV. Christian Rosenberg, again, is a jerk on our show.
On our show?
On our
Christian
show.
Rosenberg stole the Pixel Pro Wrestling Championship, and we are doing a best-of-5 series in the digital world to try to win it back.
Oh,
And-
I'm invested.
Thank you, Mike.
That's all it took.
We are the first of 5 series one up today. Check it out at Soapbox Card TV. You can follow me here. Well, you can follow me here. You can also follow me on Twitter at Soapbox Mark, and then you can follow all of us here at AfterBuzz TV. At AfterBuzz TV. Thank you for watching.
And get the app.
And get the app. Get the AfterBuzz TV app for your cellular phone. And we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.